I debated whether or not to produce a film on this after observing how quickly people swap things up. Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new around here, my name is Candy, but you can call me YLS, short for your local sister. This will be a very long documentary video, so get some water to drink, sit comfortable, and prepare to hear all this unleashed drama as I go through the Cxkios, 𝆪Links, and many more dramas from the beginning. If you are part of the Roblox community, you may have heard of the 20k subscriber Cxkios channel. If you have watched any of my past videos or those of other Roblox commentary YouTubers, you may already be familiar with Cxkios. With all this fame coming quickly, Cxkios also faced a lot of backlash and haters. One major drama that occurred about 2 months ago involved a Roblox editor by the name of 𝆪Links, which caused her to lose a lot of subscribers and gain a lot of haters. The drama was later resolved, but around that time, people also started claiming that Cxkios was a groomer and was using fake Discord screenshots. As if things weren't stressful enough. When 𝆪Links tweeted a tweet that was essentially a cuss at me out of nowhere, when I'd never even spoken to him before, like Cxkios states. Near end May. A few days later, he removed it, and although I don't recall commenting on it, I saw it before it was removed. Then he produced a video about me in which he used those fictitious screenshots of me using racial insults. I was quite upset by that, but I chose to remain silent. After hearing some criticism that those screenshots were false, he published a community post in an effort to refute those claims. The evidence he provided was from Doge. As I had already demonstrated numerous times that the screenshots were phony, I posted his post in an effort to set the record straight. A few hours after I shared it, he and his friends made the decision to join my server and started raiding it, spamming, and making terrible *Z art of me. And from that point forward, everything became out of my control. From Cxkios and many others' points of view, that is exactly how it began. For those of you who don't know who 𝆪Links is, he is a Roblox commentator YouTuber who joined YouTube in 2021 and has around 2,000 subscribers. He framed Cxkios by claiming that Cxkios used racial insults, while attempting to prove that the phony screen images were authentic. After discussing the origins of this drama, let's move on to 𝆪Links. A few weeks or months ago, 𝆪Links and his friend Doge created a document on pranksters and Cxkios. If you don't know who a prankster is, as 𝆪Links and Doge allege, quote our former friend and comments YouTuber prankster. Up until he was exposed on Twitter for his abhorrent behavior. In which, despite the fact that he frequently leaves our group chats during debates, he can hardly take criticism and believes his ideas, which we have refuted, are superior to ours. Currently, prankster is 𝆪Links' friend once more, but they weren't before. Although parts of the screen photos given in the paper were phony, some still believed it and tried to cancel Cxkios. They were essentially trying to quote-unquote prove she is a lunatic who is trying to gaslight people. It's funny to me that there are some things in my opinion that Cxkios shouldn't have done, like the raiding, but if you think about it, 𝆪Links also raided Cxkios' server and made his gang do such horrible things. Obviously, Cxkios and 𝆪Links shouldn't have done that, but people continued to attack her without realizing it. I personally would like you all to view the document yourself. Before I continue, I'd like to point out that some of the screenshots in 𝆪Links' document were faked, as people were attempting to impersonate her and slip into people's direct messages and say things she never did. Secondly, I'd like to ask why 𝆪Links was acting like a victim when he also raided her server and did such heinous things, but decided to claim she raided his server. Cxkios shouldn't have raided his server, but it was revenge. She shouldn't have done that, since playing fire with fire won't solve anything. I also want to point out that I was a victim of 𝆪Links' friends' abuse and slurs. They didn't just target Cxkios, they also targeted her fans and friends. As a result, I find it interesting to see how 𝆪Links suddenly acts vindicated after he and all of his friends treated us horribly. I'll discuss this and provide evidence later in the video. People tried to dox Cxkios fans and other people connected to her after the document was circulated and read, and others also tried to cancel her. 𝆪Links caused a lot of people to turn against Cxkios, but not just those who supported her. Some of the things that happened weren't 𝆪Links' fault. Later on in the video, we will discuss raiding and the server getting nuked. With the assistance of friends and other individuals, Cxkios finally created a document, and guess what? People started switching sides. She essentially compiled a list of those who had harassed her and those who had attempted to remove her from existence and unjustly frame her. Before I go into detail about the Cxkios document, I want to bring up 𝓪Links, a Roblox commentary YouTuber who, at the time of writing this transcript, has almost 2,000 subscribers and has his own fandom. 𝓪Links started accusing Cxkios a few weeks ago and made videos of Cxkios being a content nuker with the support of Volt's friends like HEYY. It's interesting because less than a month ago he was supporting Cxkios. This shows how fast people can switch up. 𝓪Links essentially began making videos of Cxkios in an effort to demonstrate to people that she's a manipulator and other such things. He even made the claim that doxing is worse than racism, which I will discuss in depth later. At the time, people already despised Cxkios, so they naturally agreed with him. 𝓪Links sighed. Doxing is worse than racism. Let's now discuss the quotation doxing is worse than racism. Let's first discuss what doxing and racism are before moving on. Doxing is a type of cyberbullying that targets specific people by using their private or confidential information, statements, or records to harass, expose, financially hurt, or otherwise take advantage of them. In line with Fortinet. And racism refers to the unfair treatment of members of a specific race in a society, particularly when it benefits members of a different race. As you can see, racism and doxing are both terrible things, according to Merriam-Webster. However, doxing is a form of cyberbullying that only happens online, on phones, computers, and other electronic devices, but racism exists everywhere, both offline and online. People of different races are treated unfairly, ridiculed, and criticized. In my own experience as a black adolescent, I was treated differently simply because I was black. Let's also bring up the case of George Floyd. Overall, even the idea of campaigning against racism and doxing is silly. Racism and doxing are wrong, but you should never campaign against them. 𝓪Links, also Breton, discussed this in a group chat before clarifying that he didn't mean it that way. Returning to the Cxkios document, I just want to reiterate this warning that the document includes doxing, racism, slurs, references to suicide and self-harm, and last, but not least, swatting. Cxkios basically explained her side of the story in the document over 100 pages, which I will like for all of you all to go through by yourselves. But, basically all my proof of Volt's friends harassing me and other people that disagreed with them is in the document. Cxkios and her fanbase also did some unexpected things due to revenge and hatred, but we can't only blame Cxkios, look both ways before crossing. Now that I am starting to wrap up, I want to discuss about the server nuking and raiding that has been happening. A few weeks ago I actually experienced Cxkios server getting nuked, which I will show in a moment. The person behind this wasn't Volt or 𝓪Links, we still don't know, but what we know is people love to harass Cxkios, and not only her but her whole fan base. What you saw in that video was me and the other mods trying to stop the nuke. We were also ordered to kick everyone out until nobody was left except the admins and mods. So I just want to say there has been a ton of going on, so don't judge before looking both ways. If you want a document version of this video, check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching.